So, Roberto Devereux is an opera by Maestro Donizetti, an opera that is not as well known as it would be the case of course, Lucia di Lammermoor or Anna Bolena. Roberto Devereux has not been that fortunate, and whenever there is an opera that is not represented that often, there is usually a reason of difficulty in there. Trying to put together a cast who can sing the main roles can be usually challenging, and that is the case for Roberto Devereux. So not only I wanted to share with you this difficulty of Roberto Devereux, but I also wanted to share with you what I called the electrifying duet from this same opera, because and I know that many of us, as if you have seen our previous episodes when we talk about whether certain areas or certain pieces are art, acrobatics, or circus, sometimes there is a thin difference between acrobatics and circus, and it is very, very, very common that singers may add unwritten notes. And also, there is the opposite case that there are notes that are written by the composer, but the singer simply skips them. And the reason for skipping them is also very obvious because simply the singer can't. So when the simpler, it is like imagine that you had a job. I'm not sure what kind of um, professional work you do, but thinking that you are not in the business of singing, thinking that you are doing some other type of maybe office work. Imagine that you had a job where you can skip the tasks that you don't want and do only the ones you please and do it the way you want. That is pretty much what many singers do. They skip the difficult parts. Urna Fatale from La Forza del Destino, you're the baritone, the final part with ornaments and this. No, no, I skip those two bars, please, director. Let's go for the one that I can't or that I want to do. And oh, we are singing La Donna Mobile. People are expecting a high note, an A. Okay, let's add an A. Hey, but it's not written. Don't worry, I am going to add it. So from that perspective, the job of the singers does not seem to be that professional, right? But outside that situation, whether singers are adding notes that are not written or skipping parts that they find difficult, we still find a certain pleasure in seeing or witnessing singers go for high notes. And that is the case for this duet from the opera Roberto Devereux. The name of the duet is un lampo horribile. This is an electrifying scene. If you have ever had the opportunity of watching it with a full cast, then you know that it is a very impressive duet because it is long and it is difficult. The two specialties of Maestro Donizetti, who liked to make life of people difficult. This is the case. And also, I wanted to share this piece with you because from a recording year 1991, already 33 years, there was a concert version of this Roberto Devereux at the Palacio de Bellas Artes in Mexico, of course. And we happen to have uh, this version where the soprano Martile Rowland, along with the tenor Fernando de la Mora, were in the cast. So they are the two who have this duet. They are responsible for this duet. And I was saying that we are fortunate in one hand because this is a recording that could have never made it unless the owner of this channel, Manuel Irizar, used to work. He was in charge of the technical team for recording and making these transmissions on behalf of the IMBA and the government of Mexico. So he had the opportunity of witnessing and producing many of those representations. So he was in charge of that one, and he recorded those years. He recorded on VHS that format. If you're if some of you are still familiar with what I am referring when I say VHS. And so he started his own channel and uploaded a number of those recordings. So that's why the quality, well, 33 years ago, the quality of the video is not great. The quality of the audio, I think it is fair, but it is nice because it gives us the opportunity of watching or witnessing this electrifying duet. I also wanted to add a couple of words to in regards to Martile Rowland. I had the opportunity of watching her in Norma many years later, because in 1991 I was still a minor, so I would have never made it to the Palacio de Bellas Artes. I could see her in Norma. Truth is, I was not very impressed in her Norma, but of course, when you have Maria Callas' Norma in mind, it is very difficult that any other singer would impress you. And Fernando de la Mora, who happens to be a Mexican tenor with one of the most beautiful voices I have ever heard. Fernando has this beautiful voice. Not very sure how much you will be able to appreciate it in this recording, but believe me, Fernando was is still active, not in opera. He's still doing some projects here and there, but he has one of the most beautiful voices of the past 40 years. And he had this easiness for high notes. And this is why he is going to go to climb to the high, climb high to go for the high note along with Martile Rowland. So I am going to leave you these seconds so that you can appreciate. Of course, when this happens, sometimes one of the singers finishes earlier. When you are a good partner on a stage, you are supposed to finish once you notice that your partner cannot keep the note any longer. That is not the case for Madame Rowland, so I will take that as a sign of poor partnership on stage. But still, it is very interesting to watch this final part, and so I am leaving you with this one. I am also adding the link in the description of the video. And notice, if you want to watch it full, the whole duet, I would advise you that this part, the second part that you're watching on the street, you play it from the beginning to see how the drama is building. So let's witness how this goes high and how they wrap up this duet.